Recently, we have been hearing and listening to things that have been written by scholars, scientists, and linguists. Those who are dealing with language and linguistic. We need to understand the contemporary ideas because they are the new targets and aimed in which students, researchers are required to understand them functionally, organically, and doing such and practically. They need to do some topics and try to investigate about their reality as definitions, functions, roles, messages, importance, usages, evaluation and assessment with an impactful and realistic outcomes. The idea is salient due to, because, owing to. I'm using these three conjunction words in order to emphasize about a new idea that is contemporary, up to date, fashionable, unimaginable thing. Due to, because, owing to. Most of the students nowadays and teachers, instructors, doctors, specialists in linguistics and languages, they are unaware of, particularly in some countries, the Middle Eastern countries, they are stick to topics that are related to linguistics, types, semantics, which means meaning, syntax, which means structure, pragmatic, which means context and text, morphology, phonology, and others types of the books of John Eliot or others. The reality is sometimes different. When we look at the word language, it has got emendations within such advancement and progress. That type of evolution and development are real, actual, punctual, and fashionable. Thus, those who are in need for such topics, they have to look at what's called language engineering. The language engineering means the influence of language technology upon linguistics. As we have seen, the new books of Lewis Gunning, the clinical linguistics, that deals with what's called disorders and impairment in terms of semantic, syntax, pragmatic, phonology, morphology, etc. All these types have been added to something new, to something fashionable, to something trendy, and the core idea, the core view is we need to understand the language in terms of practice, the language in terms of application. Practice means how could students and teachers apply things within the type of technology, type of advancement, type of digital evolution. The promotion will not allow to us to be away from all these types. Therefore, the language engineering has classification and sorting. These sorts are related to different titles and subtitles. When we talk about the language engineering, we have to understand and comprehend the view of being able to understand AI, the abbreviated letters of the artificial intelligence, which means a type of technology, a type of knowledge, a type of advancement. That kind would concentrate upon things that are realistic to be applied within sciences, within medicine, within education, within economy, within agriculture, within most of the sciences that we are known as normal sciences, but they have been advanced, got progress within the past 10 years. Particularly when we talk about the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the recent century. However, we need to understand these things, but they might affect our understanding, our abilities, our capacities, because they are called core capacities, core informations, core knowledge, core advancement. How could that be applied within the idea of the language engineering? The artificial intelligence means how could we take benefit from the knowledge itself by investigating such topics, subjects, materials, ideas, thoughts, applications, practice, drills, to get such devices that could be employed within the type of sciences that could the human being benefited from. Let us talk about the robots. They are the achievements of the artificial intelligence. Devices that are used in the theaters, the medical theaters, the operational devices, they have been achieved such immense, huge, drastic and important, salient, valuable achievements within the time limit and human shortage. This means the artificial intelligence is going to be the substitutional things for the humans. And this branch is related to language engineering. It means how could we, students, teachers, doctors, specialists, linguists, and other titles, employ these advancements within a project? But the crux view of the artificial intelligence is how could we understand its aim. The aim of the artificial intelligence is to investigate. We have seen it in different branches, in different sciences, in different materials, but the most important one is stimulation, simulation, and motivation. Second type of the language engineering is related to practice and application. How could we design a program, and that program could be used according to our research topic and research material, so that we could achieve both the digital outcomes within the knowledgeable information and realistic understanding of such application within its core knowledge. So we have seen the translation, the technical translation. That means we are using devices in order to interpret the meaning. That means semantic. We need to understand the construction of a sentence, a clause, a phrase, a paragraph. This means syntactic information, linguistic information, and we need to go deeply within the text, context, and the style of writing, the structure of the elements. So this means pragmatics within the prefixes, indexes, and suffixes. This means morphology, as well as the pronunciation of the words, the articulators that are used within such accurate, realistic, and succinct pronunciation within the segmental and super-segmental ideas of the rhyme, rhythm, tone, intonation, assimilation, etc. In fact, if we would say that we will not deal with the language engineering because the word engineer is something different from language, we're not familiar with the advancement of the linguistic within the recent and past centuries. So that's why I'm giving you these knowledge, these information, to do searching, to develop yourselves in 3 elements. The first one, doctors, teachers, instructors, facilitators, educators, and specialists and linguists must learn the new technology, must develop their skills and in Microsoft programs, in the internet usage, in the advancement of employing such devices to measure such things. Take, for example, the word prosody. It's related to phonology, right? How could I measure such disorders and impairments within the first grade pupils? How could I? I need a device. I need to create a program so that I could use it to see the rhyme, rhythm, tone, intonation, the pauses, the chanting child, the stuttering child. These are medical issues. At the same time, they are associated with what's called phonological disorders, phonological impairments, and we must. American have to, British must, but I would suggest you should, both, you should, so that we could achieve innovative, inventive, creative, and modern, trendy students and teachers. Consequently, I would propose things that might be difficult within the style of the language engineering. It might be difficult nowadays because we have to have a lab and sub-lab so that things could be achieved properly and impromptu. That would mean we need to do things immediately, and I hope that I could transfer something new to you, and this is the reality of the advancement in linguistics and language. Best of luck.